Now that we've created several user accounts on our computer, let's put them to work and see how we can log in using different accounts. First of all, we're going to click on the Apple menu to simply display the options underneath the Apple menu. And you're going to notice that the last option is an option called Logout. And this is one of the easiest ways to be able to tell what account is currently logged into the computer. Now what we're going to do is we're going to log out of this account and log in as a different user. Now the way that we're going to do this is when we choose log out, you're going to see a list of users on this computer. Now what you have to do is choose the user that you want to log in as and then enter their password, and that will log in as a different user. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose log out, and I'm going to come back when I've logged in as a different account user. I'm going to log in as the Jane Doe account. So I'll see you in a second after we log back in. Once you've logged into the Jane Doe account, you're going to notice that your desktop changes to reflect the default desktop for a new user account. You can tell that Jane Doe is logged in a couple of ways. First of all, click on the Apple menu, and you're going to notice that Logout Jane Doe is displayed at the bottom of that menu. In addition, if we open a new Finder window by going to File, New Finder Window, you're going to notice that the Home folder is reflecting the Jane Doe account that we're currently logged into. Now, if you recall, when we created this account, we gave this user a generic password. So I'm going to go to System Preferences to change the password. So once this user logs in, he or she can change the password as needed. So I'll close this Finder window, go to the Apple menu, and choose System Preferences. If I click on the Accounts preference pane, you'll notice that all of these other ones are grayed out, and the only way that I can make changes to these accounts is to, of course, unlock using administrative username and password. However, while I'm logged into the Jane Doe account, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click the Change Password button. And the first thing I need to do is enter the old password. So if you recall, I made this very basic. I called it password. And then I can enter a new password if desired. Now one of the nice features in OS X is this Password Assistant button. If I click that, it's going to open a new window that allows me to let OS X and the Password Assistant generate a password for me. So I can choose from a number of different types, from memorable password to letters and numbers, numbers only, random, and then this very high security FIPS-181 compliant. Okay, so I'm going to leave this set to memorable, and you can see that right now the quality is, I don't know, maybe 2/3 of the way up, maybe a little less. But if I drag the length further up, the quality increases. However, the password gets a little bit more difficult to remember. So this is just a tool that you can use if you choose to do so. I'm going to close Password Assistant, and then I'll just type my own new password. So you could type whatever you like, and then re-enter it in the Verify field. And when I click the Change Password button, I'm going to get this error message simply warning me that it's also going to change the login for my keychain. Now, we're not going to cover the keychain in this series of video tutorials. However, the keychain is an application that allows you to store passwords for commonly used applications and websites and things like that. So I'm going to click OK, and now my password has been changed for this account. So I'm going to quit System Preferences at this point, and I'm going to log back into the administrative account on this computer to show you another great way to switch between accounts on your computer. There we go. Now that we're logged back in as our administrative account, I can show you a really great feature called Fast User Switching that really streamlines the ability to switch between user accounts. So what I'm going to do is go to the Apple menu and choose System Preferences. And I'm going to click on the Accounts icon, and I'm going to authenticate using my administrative user and password by clicking on the lock icon in the lower left corner. There we go. Now, down at the very bottom of this sidebar, I'm going to click on the Login options. And what this does is allows me to control some parameters of how the users are accessed and how we can switch between those users on this computer. So first of all, you can notice that automatic login has been turned off, and we did that in a previous lesson. Now, this is a useful tool because by default it displays a list of users when you're ready to log in and when you're at the login window. What you can do is, instead of showing a list of users, which gives a person trying to access your computer half of what they need, meaning their username, you can only show the name and password field. So now, somebody trying to gain access to your computer has no idea what user accounts are on this machine. So just keep that in mind as you're setting up the users and how they're accessed on this computer. I'm going to leave it to list of users right now. And down at the very bottom, I have an option to show fast user switching menu as, and then I have some choices. I'm going to turn on this checkbox, and that's immediately going to enable fast user switching. Then in this drop-down menu, I can choose whether I want to show the name of the account, the short name, or just an icon. Now I'm going to leave it set to name, and you're going to notice that in the upper right corner of your screen, in the menu bar, you'll see the name of your admin account up here, or whatever account you happen to be logged into. Now we're finished with this accounts window, so I'm going to quit out of System Preferences. And this menu in the upper right is the Fast User Switching menu. So if I click on the name that's listed, you can see that I can now choose from a variety of accounts that are on this computer. So if I wanted to log in as the Little Doe account, I can choose this option. Now, I'm going to have you choose that option in a second, and what's going to happen is you're going to see a really cool effect of the account switching. So when you choose Little Doe, you're going to be asked, I'm going to choose this option, you're going to be asked right away for the password of that account. So I'm going to go ahead and enter that password. If you followed along in previous lessons, we set our password as password. And I'm going to click the login button. And I'll come back in a few seconds after we've logged in. You'll notice now that I'm logged in using the Little Doe account that we had created in a previous lesson. So fast user switching allows multiple users to remain logged into the computer at the same time and allows them to switch back and forth very quickly and easily. To take a look at this, if we click in the upper right corner where it currently says Little Doe, which is the account that we're currently logged in as, I'm going to click on that, and you'll notice that the main administrative account also has a check mark next to it, indicating that both of these accounts are currently logged in, but only one is active. So that's how fast user switching can make it very easy to switch back and forth between your accounts. Finally, I'm going to switch back to the administrative account by clicking on the Fast User menu and choosing my administrative account. I'm going to enter my password, and I'm going to click Login, and I'll see you back in the administrative account in a few seconds. There we go, right back into our administrative account. So as you can see, you can log in and out of accounts manually by choosing the Apple menu and choosing Log Out, even when fast user switching is enabled. And you've also seen that fast user switching allows you to remain logged into your computer, but switch between active accounts very quickly and easily.